Solidarity rallies have spread outside the US as well. In the French capital, students there have blocked the entrance of the Sciences Po University. Natasha Butler joins us now. And so, Natasha, it seems as though the students have gathered to protest again after a pro-Palestine protest was broken up.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, you could probably hear those protesters behind me. There are a few dozen students outside. There are a few dozen inside as well. They've been staging a sit-in now, we believe, for nearly 24 hours. We know that university authorities have asked them to leave, but so far they haven't. There's a pretty light police presence, I have to say, at either end of this street. But for now, the protesters are being left alone. And if I step away, you can maybe see some of them hanging out of the window. They've got a number of banners saying no to war, that this is a genocide. They're also here protesting not only for the Palestinian people and asking for an end to the war, they're also protesting to say that they want universities in France, including this university, Sciences Po, which is one of the most prestigious in France. They're asking on all universities to cut ties with Israeli universities. And they're also calling on the French government to do more to protect the Palestinian people and protect what they say has been an erosion of freedom of speech in recent days and weeks, because they say that when a pro-Palestinian protest is organised, then often the police move in, and they say that that's just simply not fair.
And, of course, the police broke up a similar demonstration that happened the day before, Natasha. We've seen some very violent and heavy-handed tactics being used in the US. Tell us more about the way, the response that we've seen to the student protesters there in France.
Well, I think we have to put this into context. This isn't, at this stage, the sort of movement that we're seeing in the US. We've seen a protest like this in this particular university, Sciences Po, in Paris. There have been 2 or 3 of these sorts of protests and sit-ins, but it's not something that we've seen in other universities in France at this stage. Certainly, some of the students here are hoping that we might see a wave of protests across universities and educational establishments, as we've been seeing in the United States. But for the time being, that is not the case. But there were protests here at this university before. The police have moved in and moved away those protesters. They've had to break them up because the protesters didn't respond to the request by the university to leave the premises. But so far, that's all we've seen. There's no doubt, though, as I said, that the protesters here would very much like to see a wave of protests like this across France, that they're encouraging other students to join in, and simply to get that message out that they want an end to the war, Israel's war in Gaza, and they want universities across France to cut ties with Israeli universities.
Thank you, Natasha Butler in Paris for us.